Welcome to the news at 10. The parents of a man shot and killed by a Star police officer a year and a half ago are calling for change.
Skip and Jeremy Bannock want a third-party review into the shooting of their son, Jeremy. In March, we reported a prosecutor found the officer who shot Jeremy was justified. Abby Davis sat down with Jeremy's parents for their first interview with KTVB since the shooting. Abby, another look into this investigation isn't the only thing they want, right?
No, it's really not. Skip and Gina say better de-escalation training for officers and a citizen police review board might help prevent another death at the hands of police. We want to warn you, this video shows moments leading up to the shooting, and you can hear gunshots, which may be disturbing to some of you. Reminder after reminder.
It's left a huge hole.
Of their late son, Jeremy, displayed in Skip and Gina Bannock's home.
Did he have some problems? Yeah, he was a druggie. He had that problem. But he still was a great kid. He was a great son.
Jeremy died at 39 years old after a Star police officer shot and killed him on June 15, 2022.
Both your hands do not be going towards houses.
Boise police led a critical incident task force investigation into the shooting, and Valley County's prosecutor reviewed the findings. A letter from February 2023 shows prosecuting attorney Brian Noggle found the officer who shot and killed Jeremy was justified in doing so. But the Bannocks want a, quote, unbiased third-party review of the case.
We don't see a problem with that.
They started a petition in late November asking for that very thing.
We want the prosecutor to ask the Attorney General's office to look into this case so they can see whether this investigation really was a good investigation or what was lacking.
Twin Falls prosecuting attorney Grant Lobes, who wasn't involved in reviewing this case, says it doesn't work that way.
The Attorney General doesn't have any jurisdiction over these kinds of offenses.
Loeb says police shootings aren't typically looked at again after a prosecutor makes their decision about whether the officer or officers involved should face criminal charges.
I've never seen that happen, except if there is additional information that comes in after that prosecutor has investigated, has read the investigation and made his determination.
The AG's office says it has reviewed 2 police shootings in the last 5 years. It was the first office to do so in those cases after being asked by a county prosecutor, which is allowed under state code. The Ada County Sheriff's Office, which contracts with the city of Star, said in a March 2023 news release, the officer who shot and killed Jeremy did not violate any of its policies. The Bannocks still don't agree with the findings.
He never pointed the gun at anybody else except for himself.
Skip and Gina feel officers in Idaho aren't held accountable when they shoot people, whether a prosecutor justifies a shooting or not.
We kind of seem to have an epidemic here in the Treasure Valley of law enforcement shootings.
That's why they want Ada County to have a citizen review board to independently look into police conduct.
There are hundreds and hundreds of cities in the United States that have these.
The Bannocks also feel officers need to undergo better training when responding to people in any kind of crisis.
The police officers have to be retrained in the use of de-escalation techniques. You don't go from zero to shoot.
Jeremy was shot more than an hour after Skip says they called police because he was high. The couple wanted to get their son court-mandated detox and rehabilitation.
We're not, trying to do anything other than get justice for Jeremy, and hopefully putting a system, procedures, and training in place for law enforcement where hopefully it'll never happen.
The prosecutor who reviewed the case previously said that he found that the officer was justified because Jeremy's flight posed a risk to the other people around him since he had a gun. In a statement to KTVB, Noggle, the Valley County prosecutor, again, who reviewed the case, like I just said he thought the critical incident task force investigation was thorough and gave him all the information he needed to, quote, properly determine whether the officers committed a crime under Idaho law. The Bannock family is also working with a lawyer. They filed a tort claim a few months after the shooting. Of course, we've covered this story extensively. For more information, go to our website, ktvb.com.
Yeah, we've done a few investigations on this, and it's important to mention, Abby, as you mentioned, they said that they believed he was a risk, and that's in part because he, Ada County Sheriff's Office said, had stolen a gun, right, and was walking down the street with that gun. Again, we have much more detail on this story on our website, ktvb.com. Abby, thank you.